All right, Dolphin fans, how in the hell are you? So Trey, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. What do we got? Trey
That's
today.
what happens when you get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. It's a long time between having something to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
If we were
So
Chiefs or Niners fans, it'd only been like, oh, hey, it's only been like 6 weeks. What's going on?
yeah, well, that's how it was with the Panthers last year, make it all the way to the finals, and it was like 2 weeks before free agency stream. I'm like, where's
Yeah.
where's my time off? So, um, we just want to go over our thoughts on the draft a little bit. Trey and I were talking about it, and I think the words you used were you like the draft, and
I did. And I normally don't like drafts. So
yeah, yeah.
we'll see how that
Well,
goes. I mean, it's a toss up either way.
yeah. Well, it's been a while since we actually had more than like one pick around here. You know what I mean? Now
Been
I'm
a lot of
I'm
trades recent years.
yeah. I'm on Greer. You know what Greer is like, it's 2:30, you're leaving the club, and it's like, she all right. It's like that's what Greer is. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, come on. It's a Greer, we'll handle with you. Um
I
not
like
a
Greer.
fan.
There's a lot of Dolphin fans who want him fired and have for a while. Maybe they've calmed down a little bit, but I feel as far as trades are concerned, like Greer's. I'm not going to say he's as good as Zito at that, but uh, he's he's placing a lot of people. The Bradley Chubb trade, the Tyreek Hill trade.
Right, right. But
I don't think the Niners are ever going to talk to us again
no, no.
about a trade. You know what I mean?
My
So like,
my issue with Greer, you're correct there. My problem is that he's great at getting the trades, and then we got to pay for those guys, and
right?
then we
That's
don't
where he's
have
not needed.
money. Then we don't have money to pay for the guys that we draft, and we got to let everybody go. I mean, I understand the Wilkins thing, right? But letting AVG go, it's just like, are we just gonna we just it's you got to have a better balance, in my opinion, of being able to develop and sign your own guys and keep them around a little bit versus just because you're constantly just in replacement mode. But football's like that,
Mm-hmm.
and more than any other sport, for guys 5 or 6 years into the league, a lot of times they've already peaked. You know what I mean? So, but let's go over these guys one by one here. Um, Now the first guy, if you notice, I'm going to be doing this all year. If you notice my name, I'm Chubby Chop today. Today I'm Chubby Chop because we're gonna have Chub and Chop on the edge. I mean, it's just
Yep.
it's 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 got so much potential there.
Is Chubb gonna be healthy week one?
um, Basically, I mean, I've heard mixed reports. I think I kind of heard Phillips might be in better shape than Chubb, but you just never know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like Kachuk was 100%. Yeah, my ass. He was out there day one, right? But that dude wasn't 100%. Okay, so with those kind of injuries with edge rushers, it's always going to be remains to be seen what when he comes back. What either one of them are going to be. Um, so Chop Robinson, 6'2", Penn State, 6'2", 254, edge from Penn State. Um, no real big complaints there, right? I mean, all of the he checks all the boxes. The thing that, and I talked about this in the video, I want to know your opinion. The thing that kind of, we're replacing guys that we just lost. So we're not really adding on to what we had last year, where we're trying to, like I was saying, we're in replacement mode. So we're trying to just stay kind of where we are with that pick.
Mm-hmm. No, I like the Chop pick a lot. Now, I wanted Jared Verse. I'm not gonna lie about that. And it's not just because he went to Florida State. Of course, that's part of it. But also, just have you ever seen a defensive end make a sack by throwing the left tackle into the quarterback? Because I've
No.
seen Jared Verse do it twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted him. But you can't getting mad at your front office for someone who went off the board before you picked. So he wasn't there.
Right.
Next best thing, Chop. Now, Chop is, from what I've been hearing from all the draft people, he's still putting it all together, development-wise. But all his measurements are off the charts. You see the speed, you see the size, you see the school he went to. Everybody starts making Micah Parsons comparisons.
Yeah.
Nobody's Micah Parsons. Right. So once you let that go, I definitely think if he's playing alongside Bradley Chubb, and Chubb's going to be getting the attention, if you're just having this athletic freak on the other side being the other guy having less attention,
right,
he could turn into a guy who gets attention really quick.
Yeah. No, that was definitely one of the highlights. Obviously, it's the first round pick. Definitely one of the highlights for me. I wouldn't have minded offensive line there, but we went there in the second round. Patrick Paul, 6'7", 331. And the thought there is that, he'll eventually be the guy that replaces Armstead. And by eventually, we mean week 4 when Armstead gets hurt again. Another guy that, from what you read, technique needs a little bit of work, but his physical attributes are just so insane that you could not take him.
Yeah, from what the scouts are saying, everything that I said about Chop, about putting it all together, times like 2 or 3. I'm not going to pretend that I watch offensive linemen from Houston. I live in Houston, and I didn't watch any of the University of Houston football. I very much watch Florida State in college football, and that's it. Until we get to the draft and I start looking at people. But still, I'm not going to pretend that I know offensive linemen like that. However, and I even texted you that. I said, I don't know anything about linemen, but I really like this size, 6'7", 330. Awesome. And then I found that stat that I texted to you. Since 2022, he had however many. It was over 1,000 snaps.
Yeah, let me see.
Dude's allowed 2 sacks.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
If he's had 1,000+ snaps over the last 2 years, he's only allowed 2 sacks.
Yeah, 1,036 pass blocking snaps, 27 pressures allowed, and 2 sacks allowed.
So that's what he does when he's raw and still putting it all together.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about linemen other than once they're out on the field, are you protecting my quarterback? Yes or no? That's the extent that I know of linemen. Awesome so far.
Yeah. I no disagreement there. And Armstead is fully available and ready to help him. So that we're going to need him to develop, because Armstead coming back, while he's coming back, he's still only going to be good for 6 to 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the third pick. This one, this is in the 4th round. This one kind of surprised me a little bit. We traded up, and I think that what we gave up was a 3rd round pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
But we take Jalen Wright, running back, 5'10", 210 pounds. I think 4.48 is the speed.
I think that's the UVA receiver we got. I think Wright's in the 4.3s.
Yeah, you might be right.
I know he was the 2nd fastest running back in the draft. That I do remember.
Yeah, you're correct. I don't dislike the pick, right?
Is it the pick that you're questioning, or is it the trading up part that you're questioning?
I think in an overall sense, when I looked at the rest of the draft, when I take the rest of the draft into consideration, I'm kind of like, damn, no linebackers and no only the one offensive lineman. No guard, no center, no. Now I know they'll probably look at those positions for undrafted guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I look at the roster, and I know Mostert's not getting any younger, but geez, I mean, Mostert.
Yeah, he's 32.
Right. But I mean, like Chris Brooks was basically redshirted last year after he had his injury. There's only one ball. There's only one ball. You know what I mean?
But you have a backfield who likes to get hurt.
And that's the flip side to it. Yeah.
Achane got hurt last year. Mostert stayed healthy, but that was a first.
Right.
And
right,
even
right.
49ers fans will tell you that. Like, Mostert typically gets hurt throughout his career, and he's 32. Yeah. So, I mean, that's only for the first year. Now, eventually, you know, I don't know how many years left on Mostert's contract, whether it's this year or a couple years, but it'll probably be the end of it, whatever that contract, because he's a 32-year-old running back.
Right.
So if you're going with a two-back setup and the dude's there, I mean, that's what you're looking at for the future is him and Achane together, and that's clearly the system is speed.
Yeah,
clearly,
no doubt, no doubt. Although I don't want anybody sleeping on Chris Brooks. I liked him last year, and
you still need that big lumbering dude for when everybody's tired from chasing all that speed. Now, that's hit in the mouth.
Yeah, right. Let the fast guys through the first 3 quarters, and then you put Brooks out there in the fourth, and he looks fast because everybody's tired, like you said.
Right.
You know, until it's December, and then for whatever reason, that's a different story. But no, I don't dislike the pick. I'm sure I will like it once he's on the field and scoring, and nobody can catch him because that's obviously enjoyable as a fan having all that speed out there. I think at the time, I felt better about it at the time, but then as the rest of the draft went on, I was kind of a couple head scratchers when you look at it in the whole picture of the draft. So then we moved on to their 5th round. Now this is the pick. I think this is going to be a huge value pick. Mohamed Kamara, edge, Colorado State, 6'1", 248. Everything I've seen about him is kind of opens up your eyes and everything. That pick I really, really liked when you combine it with the rest of the roster and of course the pick of Chop.
Yeah, all the people on TV really liked this pick. Mel Kiper, for whatever, people like him or whatever. He really liked it. Field Yates really liked it. The guys on CBS really liked it. And the thing that everybody kept saying was high motor. People on CBS even compared him straight up to Van Ginkel. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But then you're also hearing, this what I heard more from local reports, was he's pretty pissed about where he got picked.
Yeah.
So if he already had on the scouting report that he's a high motor guy, and you just pissed him off, welcome to the team, buddy.
Yeah, welcome to the team. Yes. No, I heard that same thing. And he made a statement, something to the effect of all the other teams that passed on me. Basically, he said, y'all going to regret it. You know what I mean? Is basically in a nutshell what he. So, a dude like that's going to have a chip on his shoulder. The competition at that position I feel good now. Although we didn't replace Wilkins, not in the draft anyway. I feel better about. I don't know enough about either one of these guys to know if they're going to play Van Ginkel's kind of roving position. You know what I mean? Where sometimes he's linebacker, sometimes he was on the edge. He played an important role for us last year because if Phillips was out, Van Ginkel came in. We didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean?
No.
So that was the one guy that we lost that I'm still irritated about, not just because of the hair. But you always need a guy in your team. You need the one guy that's got that hair.
Yeah. And of all places to go, he goes to Minnesota. He's going to look like a literal Viking around with his hair and the helmet. It's going to be great. If you had to go somewhere, all right, that's cool.
Yeah. At least they didn't go to the Jets or the Bills or something like that, where he's going to kick our ass 2 times a year. Remember JT went to the Jets. You know what I mean? At least Zach Thomas did us a solid, went to the NFC, went to Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I had forgotten that JT went to the Jets. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. So now we get to. I don't want to skip over. I am going to skip over, and we'll get to the one pick. There's not a lot on him, but the reason why I kind of side-eyed the running back pick was in the 6th round, we took Malik Washington, wide receiver,
Mhm.
5'8", buck 91.
Wah wah.
And then round 7, Taj Washington, wide receiver, USC, 5'9", 174. So we took 2 smallish slot receiver, return, running, return guy. We took 2 of the same guy, and nowhere in there is like, here's Bubba. Here's 6'5", 295-pound dude that can play center or guard. We didn't draft him at all, but we drafted 2 of the same kind of wide receivers. So that when I looked at the running back pick, I'm like, there's one ball, man. There's only one ball.
Well, you don't know who necessarily got drafted to play offense and who necessarily got drafted to play special teams.
Right. Yeah.
So they may not necessarily be 2 of the. Now, Malik Washington definitely got drafted to play on the offense. That Braxton Berrios can start packing his bags. He's a very much upgraded version, and I like Braxton Berrios.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him saying that, but it's like,
right.
That is clearly we are always upgrading and evolving the system, and this is the upgraded, evolved version of you.
Right.
There's only one person on this team who doesn't have to worry about evolution. Everybody else, this is something that happens to the best of us.
Right.
And you know what? I say that, and watch, there will be some kid in a draft 2-3 years from now that Tyreek Hill would be like, oh, shit.
Well, he has said that he's going to retire after this contract.
He also said he's going to be a porn star after the end of this contract. So we'll see.
I mean, that's not exactly retiring. As you get older, that's more and more work,
Yeah.
You get to a certain age where I think I'd rather play football than have sex at this point.
He could get quite a few certain sponsorship deals.
Yeah.
The older he goes into this.
Yeah. He can go from the fastest man on the field to the fastest man off the field.
No, that ain't right.
So we drafted 2 wide. Okay. Like I said, I'm very, very hard to please, and I'll get to the wrap up point at the end. Now, in the middle of that, where'd he go? I'm looking at the Dolphins website. They don't have any information on him other than his basic bio. Patrick McMorris, he's a safety from California, 6'0", 207. I've heard a couple of people kind of just describe him as a possible project.
I mean, I don't want to say I don't care about late round picks, because that's definitely not the attitude I have, nor would it be the right attitude to have, because the greatest quarterback of all time came into the 6th round. What I am saying is, a lot of the people who write up the shit don't care about late round picks. So there's not much to learn.
Yeah.
And it's just, I see him, I see his size, I like that, and I haven't looked at any tape yet, and probably won't, if we're being honest. I got life. But we're going to see what happens when he comes to camp.
I think the thing for me...
safety help for sure.
Yeah. No, I think the thing for me as I look at it, as I looked at the draft as a whole, and I think about how last year ended, right? And so I think about how last year ended, and I think about the players that we lost, and I think about the free agents that we signed, and I think about the draft. And I see where we can make an argument that we could be the same team again. We could be just as good as last year. We didn't win a playoff game, and we blew the division. So I'm tepid on looking at what we've done and thinking we've improved. We definitely lost some people and filled some holes. We definitely did that.
I mean,
but I don't know that I don't see where the improvement's going to come from unless, Weaver is that much better than Fangio because of the whole, how that all went down. That's always possible.
I'm in agreement that, I think I'm in agreement. Correct me if I'm wrong with this. You're thinking that we're at best the same as we were last year. Maybe a step back. Probably a step back. The Bills are probably a step back.
Right.
The Jets are the Jets. And New England's rebuilding. What I'm getting at is I'm not going to say that this division is as bad as the NFC South last year, but it's similar to the NFC South in the sense that whoever wins the division is going to go to the playoffs because somebody had to win a division.
Right.
Which probably means they're not going to win that first round matchup. And I feel that way for the Bills, too. If the Bills are the one who wins the division with the step backs they've taken, with what the Bills have lost, do you see them winning a first round matchup in the playoffs? Because they've been going on the road against whoever. Well,
that's where we agree. You know what I mean?
I guess they wouldn't be on the road because they won the division. But still, you'd be facing a tough wild card. Whoever that is.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what we've done to beat Kansas City or Baltimore, and maybe Houston. You know what I mean? Don't leave them out.
No,
don't leave them out.
No, Houston's something else.
You know what I mean? The thing that goes around in my mind is that coaching. That's the wild card. If McDaniel can continue to improve, if he can get better, if he can sit down and watch the film and be like, I might have just should have run the ball there instead of throwing a 3-yard bubble screen behind the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Because if it's 2nd and 3 and you run the ball and you only get 1 yard, it's 3rd and 2. But if you throw it 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, how many times did we turn 2nd and 3 into 3rd and 6 last year? A lot of times. Right? And that's not the players. That's the coach has to kind of figure it out. How about forward? Just forward, bro. Just that way. So there is that possibility. But I look at it across the board, and I kind of look at the whole league, and I'm like, they still got Mahomes. Reed is still there. Who's beating these guys? Who's going to step up and do it? Somebody, please.
It's going to be Houston.
Look at this. Anybody. But once we get done with the first round of the playoffs, whoever's going to beat Kansas City is my new best friend.
But
go ahead.
For now, but this is Stroud going into his 2nd year, and if he keeps progressing on what he's progressing on, and they have all those weapons there,
right,
we're going to be tired of him.
Yeah.
And we're going to be saying someone beat these damn Texans.
That's true, but at least he's likable.
He is.
At least he's a likable dude.
He is.
Right.
If anybody
I have not seen his brother on social media doing none of this. I ain't seen none of that.
I was going to say, if anybody hadn't seen it, when he was on Radio Row during Super Bowl week on Pat McAfee, and Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer tried to crash his interview, and they were trying to promote their vodka while Stroud's over here trying to promote his energy drink. So that's conflicting a little bit.
Put the energy drink in the vodka.
Two professional stand-up comedians there. The funniest guy was CJ Stroud.
Cool.
Because he didn't really know who they were.
Right.
And he had no, I'm not going to say fear, but he had no starstruck or anything like that. He had no idea who they were. And because he had no idea who they were, he just straight up roasted them. And he roasted them like stuff that gets your soul, like what middle schoolers will say to you. He was mean, but he was funny.
It was mean, but that's awesome. So overall, in terms of the Dolphins draft, I'll give it a B. There's nothing there's no picks here where you go, wow, what are they doing? There's none of that.
Mm-hmm.
We filled holes that we had. Unfortunately, they're holes that in many ways are fresh and gonna be fresh with Armstead. If Paul works out a left tackle, that's gonna be a win.
I think no pressure on the guy, but I think a lot of the draft rides on him. And I guess I was about to say something stupid. I guess that's the same for every draft. Like, hey, if the top picks work out, you got to go draft. No shit. But what I am getting at is I'm really confident in the middle round picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the difference between the normal, yes, of course, your top picks have to work out. But normally you're more confident in your top picks than your middle round picks, whereas I'm more confident in my middle round picks than I am my early picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow what you're saying. Well, what do we got? What is this? Damn, it's still April, man. So we got all these, we got plenty of months. We got all these hockey playoffs to do. I am going to try to not be. The Dolphins really burnt me last year. Now I'm 52 years old. They've been burning me for a long time. But what were we? 8-2, 9-2, whatever we was. I was like,
it was the Tennessee game that really burned you. Not even the playoff game or anything. It was the Tennessee game that burned you.
Yeah, because that's when you knew. The Tennessee game was that's when we knew as Dolphin fans.
That was the pulled off the Scooby-Doo mask.
They're gonna do it again.
That's who you always were.
These bastards are gonna do it again. And it's weird because we totally collapsed at the end of the season, but it felt differently than it did in years past, because in years past you kind of felt like the 9-2 record we were playing above our board, and we were really a 500 team. So when we sucked it up at the end and lost the first round, you're kind of like, yeah, that's kind of who we were. But I kind of felt like we were the 9-2 team or whatever we were. I kind of thought that was the real team, and we just no matter. It doesn't matter the coach, the quarterback, the cheerleaders. It don't matter. We choke in December. It's incredible. I mean, it goes all the way back to Shula. This is just. I mean, it's crazy at this point. It's like it's almost as though it's scripted.
Oh no! We got Grandpa off his rocker again.
I mean, if it is scripted, guys, come on, man, get a new storyline already. I mean, they did try it the 1 year, right, where we went 1-7, and then we got to 8-7, and Tennessee again, the bastard, Ryan Tannehill, okay, this freaking guy, right? Yeah. So, I mean,
I only got one argument as far as proof that the league is not scripted.
I'm hearing it.
Dallas Cowboys. If the league was scripted, they would have won something by now. Damn it!
Jeez, maybe you might be right there. I mean, but they had their day. You know what I mean?
They did.
They had their day, and it's been more recent than the Dolphins.
Unless that's their role now in the script, just to be the comical follies. I mean,
it is incredible how certain teams, no matter the coach, no matter what, it's the same. I mean, the Dolphins is the same thing. The Cowboys is the same thing. The Lions, I mean, they got better last year, but they still found a way in the end. Dan Campbell kind of found a way, for it to go sideways.
I think Lions are going to be okay with an NFC Championship appearance after not having a playoff win in so many years.
Sure.
Like, if the Dolphins go to the AFC Championship this year, I don't give a fuck how they. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I don't give a fuck how they lose the game, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to say, like, I'm not going to, like.
No, I can't agree. I can't agree. I would rather lose in the first round to Cincinnati than be at Kansas City. At Kansas City, AFC champion. No. I mean, if we're going to win, fine. But I would rather lose at home to Cincinnati on a freaking missed field goal than make it to the AFC Championship game to let Mahomes and them do whatever they're going to freaking.
Have a 15-point lead with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, not interested, bro. Not interested. I'm too old for that shit. Because they give you a hope, right? Look, I'm still pissed that Skylar Thompson missed a wide open Tyreek Hill 2 years ago. We would have beat Buffalo.
Hey, that's that Nick Cousins bunny.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, Dolphin fans, that's going to do it for us today. We'll try and stay in touch a little bit more. For those of you who don't follow me on the hockey channel, well, my dogs passed away last month, so it's been a little bit slower going. I just kind of been focusing on the hockey thing right now. I don't dislike the draft. We'll give it a B. And I'm not going to worry about the offensive line. Somehow they're going to manage to keep. They did it last year, so I'm sure that they can do it again. And Eichenberg, he went from bad to serviceable, so maybe he'll go from serviceable to decent. You know, it can happen. It could happen, right?
It needs to happen.
Well, yeah, because we ain't taking anybody else.
And Armstead needs to stay healthy.
When was the last time we drafted a guard? I mean, it's been a day. He said Eichenberg, Jackson, and Jones. That's it. I'm done.
We draft tackles, and either they work out or they become guards.
We joke, but that might just be his tactic. You kidding? But I don't think you're kidding. You might have just hit the nail on the head.
We're just gonna draft tackles, and they're either gonna be a tackle or a guard. Damn it.
Yeah, because if he sucks at tackle, I will make him a guard. Makes me look good. Look, see, the pick was worth it, right? See, okay, good. That's so wrong, but you're right. Yep. All right, Dolphin fans, we appreciate the support. We'll see you again soon.